What's good, fam? This is Darius from the Legacy Code. Welcome to a special one. If you've watched Season 1, this is going deeper. If you haven't watched it yet, this is your way in. Either way, sit back. We're not rushing today. I want to start with a story. A few years ago, I was sitting with a man, 67 years old, dying. He had money, a big house, 3 cars, and the only thing he kept saying to me was, "I wish I had used my time better." Not, "I wish I had made more." Not, "I wish I had bought more." Time. That's the regret that kept coming out of his mouth. And in that moment, I understood something I'd been hearing my whole life, but never really heard. As Seneca said 2,000 years ago, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. 2,000 years, fam, and nothing has changed. Listen carefully. The reason Season 1 starts with time is not because time is the most exciting topic. It's because time is the foundation. You cannot build a great marriage, a great family, a great legacy, without first respecting the only thing that's truly yours: your hours, your days, your seasons. And here's what nobody tells you. The way you treat your time is the way you treat yourself. If you waste your hours scrolling, you're telling yourself your hours don't matter. If you wake up and grab your phone before you grab your purpose, you're telling yourself that the world's priorities come before your own. Every day, quietly, until it becomes who you are. I'll never forget what one of my mentors told me. He said, "Darius, show me your calendar and I'll show you your values. Not your words, not your prayers, your calendar. Because where your time goes, that's what you actually love." So the 5 lessons, I won't repeat them word for word. If you've watched episode 1, you know them, but I'll tell you what I've learned from applying them. Stop saying, "I don't have time." When I removed that phrase from my vocabulary, my entire week opened up. I had time. I just hadn't been honest about where it was going. Protect your mornings. The first time I did 30 days of no phone before 9 a.m., my anxiety dropped 40%. Real number, real change. Say no without explaining. This one cost me friendships I needed to lose, and it gave me back energy I didn't know I had lost. Track your energy, not just your time. This is the lesson most adults never learn. You can be productive and still be drained. You can be tired and still be alive. The difference isn't hours, it's company. And the 5th, the one that changed my life: do the hard thing first. Every morning at 5:30 before anyone else needs anything from me. Because once the world starts asking, you stop building. Fam, your time is your most loyal witness. It shows the world what you actually believe. So before you build a marriage, before you build a fortune, before you build a name, build a relationship with your hours. They are watching you. In part 2, we talk about the relationship that defines all the others. The marriage, but not the version they sold us on Instagram. The real one, with its weight, its work, and its glory. Stay with me. I want to start this one differently. I want to tell you what my father didn't tell me about marriage. Not because he was a bad man, because nobody told him. And that's how generations carry weight they shouldn't be carrying. He never told me that a man's job in marriage isn't to provide, it's to be present. He showed up to every Friday with a paycheck and thought that was love. It was responsibility, yes, but love is something else. Love is the way your wife knows she can interrupt your meeting because something in her voice tells you she needs to. Love is putting the phone down when she walks in the room. Love is asking about her day before she asks about yours. And he never told me that a woman's power in marriage isn't to serve, it's to shape. As Maya Angelou said, "I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." A great wife doesn't memorize her husband's preferences. She remembers how to make him feel like he's the best version of himself. That's the difference between a servant and a queen. If you watched episodes 2 and 3, Good Husband and Good Wife, you know the 5 truths for each side. So let me tell you what I've seen in real life. I once counseled a couple, married 15 years, both successful. The wife was about to file. When I asked her what was wrong, she didn't say, "He doesn't make enough," or "He doesn't help with the kids." She said 3 words: "I miss him." That was the whole problem. He was there every night, eating dinner with her, sleeping next to her, but he had stopped looking at her years ago. He had stopped choosing her. He had stopped being present, and the absence of presence killed everything that money, status, and time couldn't replace. And I've seen the other side. A man who came to me broken. His wife had stopped admiring him. She corrected him in front of his children. She talked badly about him to her sisters. She was always comparing him to other men. He didn't want to leave. He wanted to be respected again. And the truth I had to tell her was hard. Your words built a version of him that he started to believe. Speak well of your husband in public, my sister. Correct him in private, because the world will treat him the way you teach them to treat him. The fifth truth on each side. For the husband, small things daily beat big things occasionally. For the wife, leave him better than you found him. These two truths together build a marriage that doesn't just last. It elevates both people in it. As St. Augustine wrote, the measure of love is to love without measure. Most people love with conditions. Legacy couples love without measuring. I want you to do one thing this week. Look at your spouse like they're a stranger you're seeing for the first time. Notice something you stopped noticing. Tell them, out loud. Watch what happens. In part 3, we move into the territory where most marriages quietly die. Not in betrayal, in imbalance, and not over big problems, but over the smallest things money can buy. Stay with me. The two hidden killers of marriage. They don't make headlines. Nobody writes movies about them, but they bury more couples than anything else. Imbalance and money. Let me start with balance. Most people think balance means equal effort. 50-50. The dishes split. The bills split. The kids split. That's not balance. That's a contract. And contracts don't survive real life. As Khalil Gibran wrote in The Prophet, let there be spaces in your togetherness. A marriage is not two people merging into one. It's two people protecting a shared center that's bigger than either of them. And the 5 forces that flip every marriage. Silent resentment, the slow rust, outside voices, the noise that gets louder than your own, unequal growth, where one of you keeps climbing and the other keeps comfortable, stress contamination, when the chaos of the world becomes the chaos of the home, and the one most never see, emotional debt, the unspoken apologies, the unaddressed hurts, stored in an account that one day, a small thing, withdraws all at once, and it feels like the small thing caused the explosion, but the small thing didn't cause anything. The debt did. I'll tell you something I learned the hard way. The day you stop talking about the small stuff is the day your marriage starts dying, not the day you cheat, not the day you lie, the day you decide this is too small to mention, because every small thing not mentioned becomes a coin in the debt jar, and eventually that jar tips over, and it tips over on a Tuesday, over something stupid, and neither of you understands why this small thing is killing you. Now money. This is the topic most people avoid, and it's the #1 cause of divorce in the world, not infidelity. Money. As Suze Orman has said for 30 years, when you undervalue what you do, the world will undervalue who you are. That's true for individuals. It's even more true for couples. Money in a marriage is not a financial conversation. It's a values conversation. The way you spend says what you believe is important. The way you save says what you fear. The way you give says how connected you feel to something bigger than yourself. And when two people's values don't align, they don't fight about the credit card bill. They fight about everything that credit card represents. If you watched episode 5, you remember the 5 truths. Transparency, money story, house account plus soul account, never weaponize. And the 5th, alignment beats income. Let me tell you what that looks like in real life. I know a couple making $40,000 a year combined. They're building a small business. They argue almost never about money because they agree on the mission. I know another couple making 7 figures combined. They're divorcing. They never agreed on what the money was for. The money didn't save them. It exposed them. Here's your action for this week. Pick one small thing you've been holding on to. About money, about time, about housework, anything. And talk about it, not as an attack, as a deposit. Because every small thing addressed today is one less coin in the debt jar tomorrow. In part 4, we go to what comes for marriages from the outside, and what dies inside them when we're not watching. Stay with me. The forgotten disciplines, protection and passion, both of them quiet, both of them invisible, and both of them require the same thing, daily attention. Because the moment you stop paying attention, both start dying. Let me start with protection. Most people think their marriage is safe because they're loyal. That's a foundation. But it's not a fortress. Family will challenge your marriage. Friends will challenge your marriage. Exes will test it. Social media will sell you the lie that someone better exists. Your coworkers will see your weakness. Strangers in DMs will offer you what's missing. And if you haven't built walls, not against love, but against noise, your marriage doesn't fall to one big betrayal. It falls to 1,000 small invasions. The 5 walls. Your phone is not a confessional. Venting to friends teaches them to see your spouse the way you complained. Your ex is not a friend, no matter how civilized. Slow betrayals start in tiny moments. Not every family member gets a vote. They have opinions. They don't have authority. Social media is the slowest poison. Comparison is the thief of joy and of marriages. And the wall most build too late. Protect your private rituals. The way you talk when no one's watching. The inside jokes. The way you eat dinner. Some things must stay between you two. As Solomon wrote in Proverbs, drink water from your own cistern. Translation, don't share what was meant for the two of you. Now passion. Here's what nobody tells you about long-term love. The bedroom isn't the first thing that dies. The eyes are. The way you look at each other. The way you notice. Passion follows admiration. You can't desire someone you no longer see. As Esther Perel, one of the great relationship thinkers of our time, has said, the quality of your relationships determines the quality of your life. And the quality of every relationship is built on the same thing, attention. 5 truths from episode 7. Passion follows admiration. Look at them like the world looks at them when you're not around. Novelty is oxygen. The brain stops releasing attraction chemicals when everything is predictable. Stop performing, start playing. Flirt like you're still trying to win them because you are. Vulnerability is sexier than perfection. Let them see what scares you. And the 5th, the one that reignites dead marriages, choose them every day, not when they earn it, not when you feel it. Every day. I'll tell you the truth. I've seen passion come back into marriages everyone thought were dead. Not through expensive trips, not through new positions, through one simple thing. One person decided to start looking at the other again, listening to them, asking them questions like the first day. As Pope John Paul II wrote, love consists in a commitment which limits one's freedom. It is a giving of the self. Most people stop giving. Legacy couples never stop. Your action this week. 2 things. 1. Pick one wall that's leaking and patch it. Stop venting to that one friend. Delete that one app, whatever it is. And 2. Give your spouse one moment of full attention every day. Phone down, eyes up, 5 minutes. Watch what comes back to life. In part 5, the closer. The truth I saved for the end. Because everything we've talked about adds up to one decision. Stay with me. The truth I saved for the end. I want to start by being honest with you. Everything I've shared in this season, everything in those 8 episodes, comes from one place. I lost something I shouldn't have lost. And in the years that followed, I had to study how it happened. Not from books, from my own scars, and from watching the people around me make the same mistakes, generation after generation. This is the truth I saved for the last. A legacy is not what you leave. It's what you daily become. Most people think legacy is the money in the will, the house, the business, the name on the building. That's inheritance. Legacy is something different. Legacy is the version of you that your kids carry into their own lives. The way you talk to their mother or their father, the way you handled conflict, the way you fought and the way you repaired, the way you forgave or the way you didn't. As Maya Angelou said, and I never get tired of quoting her, I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Read that one more time, because your legacy isn't your words, it's your frequency. It's the energy you carried into rooms, the way people felt when they were around you, the way your spouse felt when you walked in the door, the way your children felt when you woke up grumpy or when you woke up grateful. 5 truths from episode 8. A legacy marriage has a mission, built in the boring days, not the highlights. Forgiveness is daily currency. Your marriage is a witness to the world, and the one that turns a couple into a kingdom. Choose forever, even on the days you don't feel forever. Let me tell you what choosing forever looks like. It looks like staying when leaving would be easier. It looks like apologizing when you're not sure who was wrong. It looks like staying tender when you've earned the right to be hard. It looks like being kind when no one's watching to applaud. As St. Paul wrote in his letter to the Corinthians, and even if you're not religious, hear the wisdom. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. That's not poetry. That's a discipline, a daily one. Fam, I want you to do one thing when this video ends. Not 5 things. One thing. Pick the truth from this season that hit hardest, the one you keep coming back to, the one you've been avoiding, and apply it this week. just this week. Because nobody builds a legacy in a year. They build it in 7 days at a time, repeated. For decades, time was the foundation. Marriage was the architecture. Money was the structure. Protection was the walls. Passion was the fire. Legacy is the home. And it's the only home that outlives the people who built it. Season 2 is coming. Guardian Code. Protecting everything you've built. Because building takes courage. But protecting takes wisdom. Until then, be the proof. Be the witness. Be the legacy. I'm Darius, from the Legacy Code. Thank you for walking this whole season with me. Like, subscribe, share. I read every comment. I respond. We build men, and real women too.